Are you cold?
Yeah, it's cold.
It's cold, bro. What is that? What? Yeah, we're not built for it.
I know.
Eric Machado.
I do like this side better though. That's my better side.
This side?
Sitting. But that's okay.
Well, I picked this side because the right side is where I shine.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Plus, when I'm thinking about it, when you twist, I'm gonna have to probably switch because I can already feel myself getting kinked this way.
Yeah.
So eventually I'm gonna have to sit on that side and face this way. Yeah.
Just a little, even it up.
Oh, hey, you're back. Yeah, okay. My friend Eric Machado. Yeah, we're out here sitting in the middle of Shalote. It's getting late. We still got a lot more later to go.
By the way, we had a 7:00 a.m. meeting this morning.
That's
So I know Josh is feeling it right now.
and I was in the office 2 hours before you got there. Yeah, so that's what it is. Yeah. But the Lord is with us. Yeah.
He sure is.
And we're talking about a lot of important issues: homelessness, addiction, substance use disorder recovery, mental health, raising awareness for these things today. And you know what I think about, just in summary, with us being able to hear from some folks who've visited us so far, is that when people are talking about these things, they go in two different directions. All right. The first one is how it's impacted me, which we're familiar with that ourselves.
Yeah.
The second one is what I think the overall problem is. Huge, right? Like that's a huge thing to try to discuss and sort out. And honestly, doing something like this is a great experience as I try to understand it. But when you think about it, this is what I wanted to ask you. When you think about the issues that we're talking about today, have you in any sense become numb to these issues doing the work that you do every day?
Well, I will tell you that not a lot surprises me these days.
Okay. So that's kind of a thing, right? Like,
Yeah, there's
because some people listening to, like, I don't know if you were here for Bobby, but Bobby came up here and shared a beautiful
I
story.
listened to Bobby, and that's what came. I was like, I need to come out here
Yeah.
after listening to Bobby.
Yeah, because you weren't on the schedule, right?
He
So
inspired me to come out.
you just came out here and drove out here to Shalote.
Right.
Okay. Because wow, right?
Yeah, there's so many issues these days. And we run into so many unique situations that, are just like, wow. But at the same time, unfortunately, we see them every day in the work we do. But I feel like it's like with me, it's weird because I grew up with, a good family, parents in the house. So, and I became addicted to heroin. So, with me being addicted to heroin, and then you have somebody who didn't have a father, somebody who, was abandoned or grew up in foster house addicted to heroin. So, I mean, it could hit you both ways.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But
It's crazy that you can grow up with all the love in the world and all the resource in the world, and you still feel, as discouraged as somebody who grew up with none of that.
right. Yeah.
And right? I mean, what is that? What's up with that?
I don't know. I think I don't know. It's probably like image. Like I started going to parties, and after a while, I couldn't go to a party without being high because I just wanted to be, it made me talk better or talk more, even family events. I had to be high first. I couldn't go to a family function without, being high or just feeling that euphoria that you feel when you are on something. It just, you get that, you convinced yourself that you can't do anything without it.
Right.
But you mentioned homelessness, and I was watching something this morning. The streets of San Francisco.
Yeah, the documentary.
Yeah. It's crazy how those people look out there
No.
and on the streets, and you think it's like a still photo, but it's a video of people just slumped and standing all crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy out there these days.
See, it's interesting because we're having these conversations right now in Shalote, where um, we have partners on the feed today who are like in downtown Atlanta, and like,
Yeah.
so our bench is sitting here and we're having a hard time even seeing anybody. You come up here and talk to us.
Yeah.
I just got out here in the middle of no man's land. We're not in the metro area,
Uh-huh.
right? There's not many people out and about. Everybody got tired and went home.
Right. Right.
But then they're sitting in cities right now where it's everywhere,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we have our issues, and per capita it's relevant, but we're so much more of a rural population here.
Yep.
So do you think that helps a community not to have it in front of them? Or, it's almost it's interesting because when we talk about the desensitizing thing, most people they're usually surprised in our area, I would say, whenever they see someone panhandling. And I have recently, I've seen people here who are panhandling.
Yeah.
Um, Anthony mentioned flying a sign. That's what he
Yeah.
said.
Mhm.
So do you think that communities are more aware and likely to do something to help whenever it's more prevalent, or do you think they're more desensitized to it?
I think they're I think they're a lot more desensitized to it.
Okay.
We just came back from New York.
Yeah, you were just in New York
The
at the
Ryder
Ryder Cup.
Yep, yep. We had to drive through New York City every day. And the people we saw and even our guys were like, wow, he's, you know, what do they call it? Shadow fighting, where they're just like,
Yep.
um, and, you can tell I don't know. I feel like there's not like North Myrtle Beach. It's lacking a residential treatment center.
Yeah.
One like ours with, that for 6 months.
Yeah.
So, and I feel like that area really needs it. So I feel like it's more, they expect it more and yeah. To answer your question is I feel like they're just used to it and nothing surprises them. So it kind of just like falls by the wayside, unfortunately.
Yeah. And so when you're kind of discussing with other people in the community about what resources we need, I know that there's definitely a side of the conversation that takes place that people think of to say, if we built more resources here, wouldn't it mean more people would come?
Right.
So, do you have any opinions or thoughts about that? And, a real question would be like, should the town of Shalot welcome a homeless center? Boom. Right there across the street. And is that something that the town would be proud of as a resource to serve the hundreds of homeless people that we know are in the county,
Mm-hmm.
and to serve as a resource to the others who are potentially at risk for homelessness, right?
I think that'd be a huge help. I mean, we do our part with the warming shelter, and um, we actually got like 70 people that came in last year.
Yeah.
So I think it would be a huge help. I don't know about putting it. I mean, I guess you could put it right here in the middle of,
You think
Shalot.
do you think it would be embraced by the majority of the public, or
Probably not.
yeah, and do you think they should embrace it? I mean, do you think that a small rural town like this should welcome that as a resource if we know that it's going to invite
If it's
other
going to get people off the streets.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it should be embraced. I don't think it will be, but you know, it's all about the risk behind that. What will happen with all the stuff that's going on these days, the shootings, all this and that. People are scared of what's going on. I'm sure there was questions and eyebrows raised when we were moving into our campus in Shalot.
Yeah.
So there's always that people think what's going to come out of that? What's going to happen if something you know uh try to prevent anything from happening. So they'll vote against it. I don't know. I don't think people will be as welcome to it. I think it's a need. But I would think it would be a good thing.
One thing I think about are our seniors. I was thinking about the senior population that we have here who just haven't prepared
Yeah.
for the end of their life, and they're on a fixed income. And I know this to be true, that There's many of them who are at risk of homelessness right now. They're just one major thing away that disrupts a couple checks
Yeah.
coming their way, and that's what it is. Um,
Yeah, and it makes you kind of think like, what is, where are they, you know, where's their life before they actually are homeless?
yeah.
What goes wrong? What can prevent it? And, how do we help them, I guess? Like,
Yeah, like ours is
because I feel like it
simple
would
to
take a
understand.
lot for someone to be homeless, right?
Drug and alcohol addiction, is a lot. I mean, that's a major thing, and that's
Yeah.
where most of the people that we've talked to today have come from that perspective. But, we also had a chat with somebody earlier who experienced homelessness because they had identity theft.
Mm.
Somebody had stolen their identity and set them up for a big loss,
Wow.
and people get overwhelmed with that stuff, trying to straighten it out. And you say, well, why didn't they call the FBI and their, intellectual fraud department or whatever? And it's like, people don't know how to navigate that stuff.
Yeah. And we
You
do.
you see our guys about getting a social security card,
Yeah.
right? I mean, for some of them, right, it's like climbing Mount Everest.
And most of them don't have it.
Most of them don't
Surprisingly.
have their documents, right?
Social
They're
Security,
trying to fit
ID.
every day working with people trying to get
Right.
those things back. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Especially these days, I mean, you have to go inside back in a year ago, all you had to do was call and they mail it. Now you actually have to go into the office.
yeah.
Um, and I think the closest one is in Whiteville, like 45 minutes away. Um,
Yeah, so it's
but it is a
it
hurdle.
might not be hard for people to find themselves just a couple slights away from getting stuck. And well, I mean, so let's just say this: when you work with all these guys, and let's say that you got 102 beds over at Grants Harbor, you got 50 over at Bryant's Orchard,
Right.
so you oversee 150 residential beds in
Yeah.
your day-to-day job. So when that's the case, and you're working with these 150 guys, how many of them would you say are coming out of a lifestyle where they've been homelessness, or let's just say at risk for homelessness? How
Uh,
many of them?
Probably, I'd say 65% of them,
Okay.
more than half.
And do you think that substance abuse is the common thread that leads them into that
Yes.
mental health, substance abuse?
Yes. Definitely.
And what do they need to get back to it? That's kind of the thing that, from your perspective, when you're working in this community-based program, what's the one common theme maybe that helps you understand if somebody's going to go on to build that successful life?
Um, their willingness while they're in the program. It's all about, going into treatment with the right intentions. Some people are looking to, just have shelter for the season. Some people, some people don't mind being homeless because they're not responsible for anything. So, I mean, with all the programs that we offer, we have an opportunity for people to get their, cabinet design certificates, their GEDs. We have all these different things, CPSS, peer support. So, if they're not taking advantage of these opportunities while they're in the program, you can kind of tell, where their life is going to turn. And even to the end, we try to pull them, towards the right direction. But sometimes people are just kind of, it's not their time.
Yeah.
Um, but it's usually, I don't think we've ever had an issue or a situation where we knew somebody was going out back on the streets and
Right.
just, here's a graduation certificate.
Yeah.
Have fun on
That
8th
wouldn't be good.
Street or whatever.
That wouldn't be.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, it's all about having the right intentions before you come to the program. And a lot of times people don't do it for the right reasons, whether, because they're ready. Usually they're court ordered or not usually, but a lot of times they're court ordered, or the
Yeah.
family's forcing them to, you're not leaving here unless you go to treatment.
Yeah.
So, um, it's all about what you, if you're willing to change. It's gotta be.
Well, I hope that through these conversations that we have, that we find people who are more likely to change because of what we're going through in this 24-hour sprint
Yeah.
that we got going on. And I do thank you and appreciate you for your work. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really grateful that we have you.
It's work that I love and that, I have a passion for. So it's easy. It doesn't feel like work. And,
Yeah, praise God, man.
I have a responsibility and that feels good too.
Yeah.
I'm counted on.
Yep. Yeah, people are looking for you. Right. If you don't show up to work, we're looking for
Right,
you.
exactly.
Especially this guy named Dave.
Yeah.
He would collapse if you didn't find.
You'll speak to him in a few hours.
All right. I love you, brother. Yeah,
I
thanks,
love you too,
Machado.
Josh.
We'll be right back. Oh, I think we're actually cutting to a national feed, so y'all enjoy that for a second.